Yo, what it do? It's your boy Mike Brockers, a.k.a. Brock, and this is the broadcast. We're here, Rodeo Houston 2024, and I'm joined with my co-host with the most, Mr. Petty Pat. Talk to him.
What's good, everybody? This your boy Petty Pat, and we're here at the world's largest, richest regular rodeo, Rodeo Houston.
Yes, sir. And we're joined today with a special guest with us, man, Mr. Dalton Massey.
Yeah. Dalton Massey. All right, here comes your defending champ. Already. Oh, and that lead by Will Loomis lasted.
And we appreciate you coming on today.
Yeah, glad to be here and great to be in Houston and meet you guys. Yeah.
When you're a part of the world's largest,
richest regular season rodeo.
There it is. I mean, it has to put a little grin on your face. So tell us a little bit about, your backstory. What made you who you are today?
I started steer wrestling when I was like 16 years old. Mm-hmm. My granddad, he hauled a bunch of guys around and had a team of horses when he was younger. And so I've always had a lot of guys, professional steer wrestlers around the house and athletes. And, there's some really good cowboys from Oregon that kind of helped me out along the way, kind of took me under their wing. And, it was kind of a family deal for us. My grandparents rodeoed, and my mom and dad and uncle. And, it was always kind of set up for me, I guess, to be a steer wrestler, which I had, 10 cousins, and I'm the only one who's still doing it.
Really?
But,
okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I pretty much when I was 16 years old and started doing it, I knew this is what I wanted to do, and I haven't really looked back.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, for those people out there who don't know where steer wrestling, could you kind of give them a quick rundown of what steer wrestling is?
Steer wrestling, they call it the big man sport. It's usually the bigger guys. It's more hands-on, a little bit more of a rush than a lot of the other events. For a timed event, it's kind of more on all the rough stock end. We're riding a horse, and there's another guy on a horse on the other side, and the steer is in the middle of us. So we'll nod our head for the steer, and he takes off, and the guy on the right side, he's going to keep that steer straight and put him in a position for you to ride your horse up against him and crawl off of your horse, grab him by the horns, and our feet will hit the ground, and you kind of try to knock that steer off balance. You kind of take his head away from him, and it kind of body control. I mean, not like you guys do in football, but it's similar. I mean, you control the head, you control the steer.
Man, that's what that's what I'm kind of thinking. I'm like, man, this kind of similar to like getting a running back on the ground, but a big, heavy running back, where you kind of like dragging them down to the ground a little bit.
Yeah, there's been quite a few football players that have been great steer wrestlers.
Okay, so I got my next event. I'm guessing next year.
It would be for you for sure.
Talk to us about the season. I always talk about having the mental capability to get over slumps and things like that. How do you handle adversities through the season?
It's hard, there's you can do anything. I mean, you're in our business, you're kind of your own self-contractor. So, a lot of guys have their own horse that they're riding. You could change horses midway through the season if something isn't working. You can do whatever. For me personally, when I first started rodeoing full time, I started really going to the gym, and I felt like that kind of took my game to the next level and just kept me focused. If I had a hard time, I could go in there and work it off and be ready for the next one.
What are you specifically working on? I'm curious, like as a steer wrestler, what are you working on? Hamstrings? Like, what are you working on? Upper body? As when you go in the weight room, like, what are you like, okay, this is I'm focusing on these lifts or whatever because this is what makes me powerful for my job.
I think everything. It's no different when you go in there. I mean, I want to be bigger, stronger, faster than everybody else, and hopefully that's enough.
So talk to us briefly about the connection between you and your horse. You said you have a horse, you can change your horse mid-season. Talk to us about the connection you need to have between you and your horse for you to get the job done.
Yeah, it's huge. In the steer wrestling, you'll see a lot of guys riding the same horse because it takes a really special horse because you're you're asking for everything. You know, when you're roping, you've got a rope to make up the distance.
Okay,
When a steer wrestling horse, if he's not, you know, running up there and running as hard as he possibly can, then you're not going to, like, you need one to get your feet on the ground faster than everybody else's, because that gives you more time to make up. I mean, it gives you more times for mistake, really, and hopefully win first. So you really got to have a good feeling there and be able to score on them. Here in Houston, we're running fresher cattle, so they're really running hard, but they don't leave that hard. So you kind of got to sit there and let them take off. That's why you'll see a lot of barriers here. And you'll see guys running them. Like my first night, I run him to about the 70-yard line. You'll see him running hard, and you want one that's a little bit crazy. I mean, you want them to run as hard as they possibly can. And
do you personally train with your horse, or help train your horse?
Yeah. So here I'm riding Tanner Milan's horse, a friend of mine, kind of a business partnership.
Okay.
I pay him money off of what I win, and he lets me ride his horse, and he'll haze for me here. And I have my own horse too, and I'll be riding him at rodeos along the way. But Tanner's horse Eddie, he won Horse of the Year last year, and so it's like even if my horse is doing good, I know that's the best horse in the world. I gotta ride him.
Exactly.
I want to go back to you said there's two of you guys riding in the wrestling, right?
Yeah.
So how important is it for you to find a really good partner who can keep that steer running the way you want it to?
It's you get a lot of confidence if you have somebody on the other side that you know where they're going to be and where that steer is going to be and how they're going to control the steer, because if they get a good start, they can kind of get that steer's head picked up, and they can control which direction he goes.
Okay.
So if you're late and he gets out there ahead of you and that steer starts going left, he might have to back off a little bit and wait for you to catch up and then go in there and close. But can't back off too much, because then you do, and you get in a bind where they start going the other direction.
Right.
So having a good cowboy on the other side like Tanner is huge.
How long have you known Tanner?
Yeah.
I've known Tanner a long time, but I started riding his horse Eddie last year at Rodeo Houston. Was the first time, and I broke the barrier on my first two, won the third round, and made it back, and I ended up winning the rodeo.
What was that conversation like? Tanner's like, you know what, bro? I want you to jump on my horse and just try it out.
Then you win the competition.
And then you win.
Like, can I have my horse back?
Yeah. Now, can I keep riding?
Right.
That was my deal. It was just awesome. He's a great guy and great to travel with, and he's got awesome horses and knows how to take care of them. And I've learned a lot from him about how to haul them horses and take care of them on the road and keep them working good.
Yes, sir.
Because you dang sure got to really take care of them if you want them to last and have a long career and get you to the pay window.
Yeah, I'm with you. How does a win today in Rodeo Houston help shape your future, boss?
It's huge. Houston pays $50,000 at the end of the deal, and that's a huge jump. I think it took $87,000 to make the NFR last year, so that's probably close to 70% of that you could win here. Last year was my first year making the NFR, and I won Rodeo Houston. That was kind of, for me, it was getting over the hump. I've been rodeoing for a living. I mean, full time out on the road since 2019. And I've come close. I was like 40th, 30th, 20th. I think I was 19th in 2022, and then last year I came out here and got the win, and I won the season earnings record and season leader, and
that's awesome.
It set me up for all the way through the end of the NFR. I had a chance to win a world title.
Yeah.
And Rodeo Houston was a huge part of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is that feeling like? Just knowing that you just won Rodeo Houston, what went through your mind when you won?
It was a little surreal. Especially I've been working hard at it and not ever getting over that hump to make the NFR and to finally get a win at a rodeo like this. It takes a load off your back. I mean, I don't know. It's like, I guess for one of you guys, getting a phone call, getting drafted in the NFL, making your first NFR is making the big leagues.
Yeah. Man, that's awesome, brother.
Yeah.
I think this is part of the segment of the show where we kind of just try to inspire some of our listeners. So if there was anybody that is watching our show that wants to do what you do you have any little words of inspiration to get them over the hump or get them into doing this?
Yeah, like for me personally, I never felt like I had any great talent. Like I wasn't more athletic than anybody else. I wasn't stronger than anybody else. But my biggest thing was I worked hard and wasn't afraid to lose and keep working hard. The harder you work at something and hustle at something, the better you're going to be. And take it from me, hard work pays off.
Man, I'm telling you, because I looked at it as when I was working, I always believed somebody else was working.
You dang right.
When I'm not working, somebody's going to be working.
You think you took it to the limit? Take it another step.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I don't know. You want to?
Oh, so I just wanted to give this to you from. This is a token of our appreciation from coming out and supporting our podcast. And,
all right.
Yes, sir.
From him and I also have a clothing brand called Brock Brand Clothing.
Cool.
And that's a shirt from us.
Yeah, very cool.
Yes, sir. I appreciate
Thank
you,
you,
man. We
guys.
appreciate you coming on and taking the time, G.
Yeah.
And those who've been rocking with us from the beginning, man, y'all know the motto, man. Don't get ready, stay ready. Peace.
Dang right.
At 5-3 for the River Cowboy from Hermiston, Oregon. Dalton Massey, you are on a roll, been on a roll, and I hope you stay on a roll, buddy.